Lewis Hamilton, Mercedes star reveals Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc title threat. The Mercedes star was crowned champion after a fourth-placed finish at the Mexican Grand Prix. It was Hamilton's fifth Formula One title, meaning he is now level with Juan Manuel Fangio on 5. The 33-year-old will now chase S all-time record of 7. With his current contract due to run until 2020, Hamilton will at least have the chance to go level before with the German. Over the past couple of seasons, Sebastian Vettel has provided his main form of competition, but now has identified 2 drivers that he expects to take him all the way in 2019. "You have to dig deep because you have these young kids that are coming," he said. Charles Leclerc at Ferrari will be hungry to prove a point, and you've got Max Verstappen, who is still hungry to prove a point, so I have to make sure I am still there, competing for the championship. Leclerc will compete for Ferrari next season after signing from Sauber, and the young star was honored to hear Hamilton's praise. "It's definitely an honor to hear that from Lewis Hamilton," the 21-year-old said. "He's an incredible driver, and I've watched him since quite a bit of years before arriving in Formula One. I'll just try to do the best I can next year, but it's definitely not going to be easy. He's very experienced and an amazing driver. But it's definitely good to hear that." After the final race of the season in Abu Dhabi, Hamilton and his team will sit down to review the 2018 season. "We will definitely look at the season at the end of the year, and there are always areas you look at," he said. "We didn't win every single race. There were some mishaps at the beginning of the year, and there is always room to improve. So I expect to do that, and that's my expectation in myself. I have got to work to do over this winter, and there will be a slightly amended approach." Related articles. Lewis Hamilton Instagram, F1 star hits back after upsetting fans with India comments. Formula One world champion, 33, reportedly referred to India as a poor place according to BBC Sport. In an interview with the publication, the racing car driver said, "I've been to Vietnam before and it is beautiful. I've been to India before to a race, which was strange because India was such a poor place, yet we had this massive, beautiful Grand Prix track made in the middle of nowhere. I felt very conflicted when I went to that Grand Prix." He has since taken to Instagram to address his comments. The F1 star said, "Hey everyone, I notice some people are upset with my comment on India. India is one of the most beautiful places in the world. The culture there is incredible." Lewis mentioned the levels of poverty despite the country's fast-growing economy. Lewis continued, "My reference was that a Grand Prix there felt strange to drive past homeless people and then arrive in a huge arena where money was not an issue. They spent hundreds of millions on that track that is now never used. That money could have been spent on schools or homes for those in need." He finished, "When we did have the race, nobody came because it was too expensive most likely, or no interest. However, I have met some amazing Indian fans." According to BBC Sport, Lewis Hamilton had questioned Formula One being held in new countries and would like to see more races in places such as Britain. The newest addition to the F1 calendar is Vietnam, which is due to host its first race in 2020. Some fans were unhappy with Lewis' comments, with people taking to Twitter to condemn him. One person said, "Lewis Hamilton says India is poor. I'd really like to know the context. People in any country deserve a chance to host Formula One. Why would you want to limit its reach?" Another wrote, "No, Lewis Hamilton, you are wrong. F1 needs to go to new countries to popularize the sport. Others came to his defense as one person said, "Now there's going to be Twitter hate for @Lewis Hamilton all because he said in an interview that India was a poor country when I think he didn't really meant it that way." Another replied, @Lewis Hamilton explains on his hashtag for those who got him wrong and couldn't read between the lines. Lewis has since uploaded another message to his social media account addressing his followers which read, "It was difficult to go to India, give a disparity between rich and poor. But the people are the nicest and the food is the best, actually my favorite food." He continued, "This country will one day be in such a different place I hope. Please don't ever think I don't love India because it's so far from the truth." Lewis recently sealed the driver's title at the Mexican Grand Prix to become the joint second most successful driver of all time. Related articles: Lewis Hamilton, F1 ace posts Twitter statement over controversial comments, please read. Earlier this week Hamilton discussed Liberty Media's plans to host a race in Hanoi, Vietnam from 2020. And he made reference to the fact F1's previous owners had staged a Grand Prix in India, only for it to be scrapped after 3 years. "We've got a lot of real racing history in England, Germany, Italy and now in the States it is starting to grow," Hamilton told. "But you only have one event per year in those places. If it was my business, I'd be trying to do more events in those countries. I've been to Vietnam before and it is beautiful. I've been to India before to a race which was strange because India was such a poor place yet we had this massive, beautiful Grand Prix track made in the middle of nowhere. I felt very conflicted when I went to that Grand Prix. We had a Grand Prix in Turkey and hardly anyone came. Cool track, cool weekend but poor audience. If you have the German Grand Prix and you've got a Grand Prix in Berlin, I think connecting to cities where a lot of people are is probably a good thing. Not necessarily going to countries where they don't know so much about Formula 1's decision to brand India as such a poor place proved contentious online. And he has now been forced to post a statement on in order to clear up what he meant. I noticed some people are upset with my comment on India, Hamilton wrote on Thursday, under a message of please read with Indian flag and heart emojis. First off, India is one of the most beautiful places in the world. The culture is incredible. I have visited and always had an amazing time. However, whilst it's the fastest growing economy it also has a lot of poverty. My reference was that a Grand Prix there felt strange to drive past homeless people and then arrive in a huge arena where money was not an issue. They spent hundreds of millions on a track that was now never used. That money could have been spent on schools or homes for those in need. When we did have the race, nobody came because it was too expensive most likely or there was no interest. However, I have met some amazing Indian fans." Hamilton's post on Twitter came after Mercedes had used their own official account to defend the champion. This is a distortion of what Lewis said. He was commenting on the juxtaposition between rich and poor, and the discomfort he felt from that contrast, they wrote. However, he has clarified his meaning on Instagram if you care to take a look. Hamilton, meanwhile, will be looking to cap off the F1 season with another win that takes place next week.